Hello everyone, my name is Loatheb and welcome to another Hearthstone Heroes of Warcraft video. Today we're gonna take a look at a mage deck created by Sjow, which is called the Getting Back #1 Legend deck. This deck focuses on a ton of secrets throughout the entirety of the game, and it uses minions that benefit from secrets. Besides that, it also has a healthy amount of spells as well as minions, obviously. The early game of this deck really focuses a lot around the Mana Wyrm, the Undertaker, the Loot Hoarder and the Mad Scientist, whereas in the middle part of the game you will see minions such as the Kirin Tor Mage as well as Loatheb and the Sludge Belcher. Later on in the game, minions such as Sylvanas Windrunner as well as Ragnaros are amazing. Alright, so here we are up against Ultra, the warrior player. So we start off with a, not the very best opening hand right here. I'm thinking I'm just gonna get rid of everything except for the Harvest Golem. Just go with that play. I ideally want any of the Undertakers or... yeah, there we go. Okay, an Undertaker is pretty good. A Loot Hoarder, Mad Scientist, the Mana Wyrm. Those kind of cards are a lot better, but this is not bad. This is not bad. Now the nice thing... oh, this is actually pretty good now. Which are we gonna play first? That's kind of the question. I think I'd rather have the Mana Wyrm out first. Considering I don't really have a... no, I'm gonna go with the Undertaker first. It's just a little bit more solid. Don't really want to coin out anything. I can coin out the Harvest Golem next turn if we really want to, and buff up the Undertaker. It would be an option, so that's the reason why. Obviously the Mana Wyrm benefits from the coin as well, so it's a bit of a wonky situation. Now the early game is really marked by the minions such as the Mana Wyrm, the Undertaker, the Loot Hoarder, those kind of things, which is pretty cool. Now, this minion is always annoying to play against. Let's see, can we take him out right here? No, we won't be able to take him out, sadly. What we can do, however, is make sure that he doesn't buff up himself too much, at least that we don't lose a minion. We can coin out a Harvest Golem right here, which will... it will buff him up, but next turn we can then actually nuke him down like that. Yeah, okay, I'm just gonna do it like that. A bit of an easier way of playing it. He will now become a 2/3. And I will hit him in the face and everything will stay alive. And if he decides to hit any of them, I will just simply Fire Blast him down, turn number 2. We already have the Kirin Tor Mage as well as Loatheb ready to go if it's necessary. Haven't drawn any secrets just yet, which is surprising considering the amount of... alright. Considering the amount of secrets that are in this deck, but this is alright. This is not too bad. Alright, well, I'm definitely gonna have to do that, so it's really not another option. I'm just playing my Mana Wyrm right now, hit that thing in the face, and go once more for his face with 2 damage right there as well. Next turn we have the option of fireballing if you want to, but I honestly doubt that that is going to be very beneficial to us at all. What it does do, however, is that it buffs up the Mana Wyrm, which is great, obviously. And he's actually getting kind of cheeky right here. Instead going for that bonus damage right there on the Frothing Berserker. Alright, so how are we gonna deal with that thing? That's sort of the question right now. We could just simply Fire Blast, hit him in the face with that thing and go for the Loot Hoarder, which would be a good option for sure. Other option would be fireballing it, but I really don't want to waste the 3 damage that gives. Mad Scientist might be useful as well. Do I rather want the Loot Hoarder or the Mad Scientist? I think I'd actually rather want the Mad Scientist here. Alright, just look like this. Gonna hit that thing in the face, and we have 2 mana left to spare. I'm gonna hit them in the face for sure with that guy, and then Mad Scientist, Loot Hoarder, Mad Scientist, Loot Hoarder. We already have the card advantage in hand, so I'll just go with the Mad Scientist right here. Mad Scientist is basically a 2-in-1 card to begin with anyway. When he dies, he spawns a secret on top of my hero instantly, which honestly is great, and it shouldn't be the biggest of deals so far. He's actually going straight for charge. Really? You're gonna take him out? Whoa, that's surprising. Alright. So like I said, this is a 2-in-1 card either way. For 2 mana, I take out the 4 mana one, he took out my 1 mana one, so it wouldn't really be beneficial for him either way. I think what I'm gonna do is just hit that thing in the face and go for Loatheb. Loatheb is very, very strong in this situation, especially when I play him on an open board like this. So let's see what secret we get. Counterspell? Alright, I'll just go with Loatheb here. Oh, Loatheb is not going to be the most beneficial right now. But whatever. It's okay anyway. He's a big damage dealing. Ooh, your weapon has +2 attack. Well, you don't have a weapon quite yet. And we can just finish that off, no problem if we need to. We can just Fire Blast hit that thing. That might very well be my best option. We can also just Fireball the thing down, which is not a bad choice. I'm just a little bit worried of like the late game taunts that he could be having. And obviously when he has a late game taunt, we can get past that with a Fireball if we need to finish him off. So I think I'm just gonna play my Fire Element or my Water Elemental rather here. And finish it off like that. The nice thing about the Water Elemental is that everything that it touches basically becomes frozen, and it has 6 health. 6 health is a lot. It's a very few minions that actually can kill that. Alright, Cruel Taskmaster, whatever. That's a wasted hero power, or a wasted battle cry right there pretty much. So that's okay with me. If it decides to do anything, obviously that is a spell. The Counterspell is gonna get rid of that instantly, which is nice. And it's counterspelled. Great. And we have the option to duplicate right here. That's an interesting one. If I want to duplicate, I'm obviously going to play my Kirin Tor Mage. And I think that's exactly what we're going to be doing right here. Yeah, I think that's going to be my best bet. Alright. So I'm gonna have to hero power that thing down, I'm pretty sure. So that makes this secret become free. Then I'm gonna hero power that thing down and go for my own loot hoarder and finish him off. So as you can see, basically what this deck does is that you play 1 card, but effectively you play 2. Such as the Kirin Tor Mage, such as the Mad Scientist, and even really the Loot Hoarder is a pretty good example of that as well, where you just play 2 cards for a cost of 1. Okay, he's gonna execute that thing. And I get 2 of them back. Sweet. Now we can actually play both of those next turn, which is extremely frustrating for him. At which point this game is practically over already, it feels like, but he's gonna start armoring up. I'm okay with that. We actually draw another Water Elemental. Let's see what we draw. Sludge Belcher. Alright, that's actually a really nice one. I have the option here of going for Mad Scientist and a Water Elemental or a Sludge Belcher. Considering he doesn't have any minions out on the board, I think I might as well go for the Water Elemental and the Mad Scientist. Sludge Belcher would have been a bit nicer if he already had something out on the board, but this is just more solid. Cost of the freeze, and considering I have 2 more in hand, then Sludge Belcher likely is gonna have more use later on in this one. Wow. Alright. That's your turn. And he decides to get out of the game, so let's just jump into the actual card selection, so you can actually replicate this deck yourself as well. So originally this deck runs Sylvanas Windrunner as well as Ragnaros. Now I personally don't have Sylvanas Windrunner, I do have Ragnaros. However, if you don't have either of those cards, feel free to replace them with Cairne Bloodhoof, as well as maybe a Faceless Manipulator if you really want to. I personally also don't have Cairne Bloodhoof, so I did go with a Faceless Manipulator instead of Sylvanas Windrunner. He's right here, and things have been going great. So this deck has 2 Mana Wyrms, 2 Undertakers, 2 Frostbolts, 2 Loot Hoarders, 2 Mad Scientists, 2 Counterspells, a single Duplicate, double Mirror Entity, 2 Harvest Golems, 2 Kirin Tor Mages, 2 Fireballs, a single Polymorph, a double Water Elemental, a Faceless Manipulator instead of Sylvanas Windrunner, Loatheb, double Sludge Belcher, then a Flamestrike as well. And the Flamestrike, if you're running into a lot of Sjow, you might want to consider adding a second Flamestrike to this deck as well. And then obviously, last but not least, we have Ragnaros himself. All around this deck is really good. Generally speaking, the Control Warrior seems to be the worst matchup, and honestly even versus Control Warriors, I seem to be having a 50-50 chance. Versus other things such as Sjow and just, you know, your regular other decks that are out there, this deck is pretty damn solid. So if you want to give major decks a try, I would highly recommend you give this one a try because it's great. It really is solid all around, and I would definitely recommend it. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like button. If you didn't enjoy it, hit that dislike button. But whatever you do, make sure to subscribe because you will be the very first one to get a notification when I upload another video. I want to thank you guys all for watching. Have an amazing day. Do not forget to smile, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!